I want you to play a game with me. First, look around you. Is there anyone within arm's length from you? Okay, let's play this game. If there's someone within arm's length from you, I want you to gently reach out, touch them, if appropriate, and then lean in and smell them. Just take a whiff. Tell me what you smell. If there's no one around you, I want you to raise your hand and just smell your armpit. Just take a whiff. Soak it in. Now tell me, what do you smell? When I do this exercise with large groups, firstly, the initial reaction is people think I'm insane. The second reaction is a lot of laughter because smelling other human beings just seems weird. But when I ask them, what do you smell? People toss out words such as cologne, shampoo, peppermint, the smell of awesomeness, which is amazing. Because if we were doing this exercise 100 years ago, all of you human beings out there would stink. 100 years ago, the average American showered maybe once or twice a week. We were not trained to spray on cologne and make our bodies smell good. It's only in the last 100 years that we have finally learned to take care of our bodies and make sure that our bodies are not carrying these burdensome smells. And so we wake up, we shower, we put on clean clothing, we spray on perfume, we do our hair, we brush our teeth, and we walk into the world smelling amazing. But at the same time, these same people, billions of people, wake up in the morning with feelings of anxiety, stress, dread, fears, hopelessness in their mind, and they do nothing about it. The sixth phase, and especially phase 2, is about giving yourself a mind wash, just like you would give your body a body wash. And it is even more important than showering and putting on clean clothing. I mean, keep doing that, bravo. But being able to do phase 2 gives you the benefit of making your mind truly sweet smelling. Phase 2 is about gratitude. And gratitude has been identified by scientists as the #1 human characteristic that correlates with well-being. Let me repeat that. If you could choose from an entire menu of human qualities, human characteristics, the act of being grateful is the one that has the highest correlation with your predicted well-being. And that is not all. More energy, higher emotional intelligence, more forgiving attitudes, less depression, less anxiousness, more feelings of being socially connected, better sleep, and fewer headaches. Not bad for a practice that's only going to take you 3 minutes every day. And of course, there's the biggest benefit of gratitude. It makes you happier. And this is starting to be pretty surprising just how big an impact gratitude has on levels of happiness. Let me ask you this. Would you like to instantly, starting tomorrow, be 25% happier? Instantly. 25% happier without necessarily getting a 25% boost in your salary, 25% more sex, 25% better quality food, just 25% happier. So there was a study done on gratitude that shows this uplift. They took groups of 2 people. One was the control group, so they did nothing out of the ordinary. And the second group had to practice gratitude for a few minutes, thinking about or writing down things they were grateful for just a few minutes a day. 30 days later, the group that practiced gratitude was 25% happier. But the funny thing was this, 9 months into the future, that group, even though not everyone had continued their gratitude practice, continued to be happier. Their happiness was extending way out into the future. Gratitude is that powerful, but also often done in a suboptimal way. Now, the sixth phase is all about optimizing. So, what I'm going to teach you here is how to optimize your gratitude practice so you get the biggest boost in happiness and bliss-inducing biochemistry reactions in your brain as possible. If you live in America, you've probably been introduced to pills like Prozac. Sadness, depression, these are real things, right? But the pharmaceutical lobby has decided that the best way to fight them is through a pill, a brilliantly marketable pill. It turned out that in studies, gratitude is as effective. But we often don't hear about this. Why? Because the pharmaceutical lobby, massive. The gratitude lobby, not so big. So if you understand gratitude, you understand that happiness is within your own control. Now, I want to go further. A message for entrepreneurs, for all of you. who are doing amazing things in the world, creators, builders, innovators. There's a phenomenal entrepreneurial coach called Dan Sullivan. He trains some of the top entrepreneurs in the US and Canada. Now, Dan Sullivan says that the trap that many entrepreneurs and ambitious people fall into is that they constantly measure themselves based on where they are and the future they are trying to build. This is the forward gap, the gap between you and that dream product or company or service that you're building. But if you're only looking at this gap, this can be a recipe for stress, anxiety, sadness, and feelings of being under pressure. Dan says we also have to look at what he calls the reverse gap, the gap between where we are now and how far we've come. If you're an entrepreneur, the reverse gap is not where your business is now and where it's going to be in the future, but where your business is now and where were you before you started the business? Where was your business 3 years ago or 4 years ago? Where was your career 10 years ago? When you pay attention to the reverse gap and are grateful for just how far you've come, you put yourself in the right elevated states of positivity and happiness that fuel your momentum to make you cross the forward gap much faster. Keep this idea in mind. So now let's get started with the gratitude practice. This is how the practice works. You're going to practice a concept I call 3 levels of gratitude. The first level is where you're going to think about 3 things in your personal life that you can be grateful for. Now, here's the trick. Studies show that it is not the size of the thing that creates elevated happiness. It is merely the thing. In other words, winning a lottery can induce the same amounts of feeling of gratitude as a person you truly love hugging you and whispering a beautiful word of appreciation in your ear that morning. So you don't have to worry or obsess about big things happening in your life. The little things are just as powerful at inducing these states of happiness and gratitude. So you're going to think about 3 things in your personal life that you can be grateful for. Your personal life, your friends, your family. It could be having drinks with your friends the previous night. It could be the bond you had with your children as you walked through the park that day. It could be the wonderful breakfast your spouse made for you. It could be the fact that you live in a home with 4 walls and a roof. And many people don't have that luxury. The little things can matter too. It could be that you have heating and you could lie in bed and be warm that particular night. Think about 3 things in your personal life that you can express gratitude for. As you do the 6 phase every day, you can start looking at 3 things in the last 24 hours, but you can also go back 7 days, a month, a year. It's up to you. As long as you pick a handful of things. There is no magic about the number 3. You can pick 2 or 4 or 5. But to keep it simple, 3 things in your personal life. Now, as you think about these 3 things, don't think about them as a list. Think about the emotion. When you think about that beautiful breakfast that your partner or spouse made for you, think about your feelings for that person. When you think about the fact that you have this beautiful, warm bed to lie in, think about how comfortable it is lying under your sheets and your blanket on this cold day. Think about the emotion as well. And if you find yourself smiling, that's a good thing. Make yourself smile as you do this exercise. Now, after you've done that, and that should take about 1 minute, you go on to the next level of gratitude, which is your work life. Think about what you're grateful for in terms of your work. This could be your co-workers. It could be a note of appreciation you got. It could be the product or service that you're getting out. It could be that you were in these amazing flow states as you were producing. Think about 3 things. Now, as you do that, you now move to the next level of gratitude. And this is the hardest one. Think about 3 things about yourself that you can be grateful for. Now, people actually find this hard because we've been trained to believe that if you really love yourself, you're a narcissist. Nobody likes narcissists. You're too proud. You're full of yourself. Baloney. The disease we have in the world today is not too many people who love themselves too much, but too many people who don't love themselves enough and thus are broken, sad, and needy. Love yourself. And think about 3 things that you truly love about yourself. It could be the fact that you are a good tipper. It could be the fact that you have an amazing head of hair. It could be your cute yoga butt. It could be the fact that you never lose your temper. It could be the fact that you're so diligent and hardworking. It could be the fact that you make an amazing plate of guacamole. Think about 3 things about yourself that you can truly love about yourself. And when you've done this, 3 areas of gratitude in your personal life, 3 in your work life, and 3 about yourself, you're done with phase 2, gratitude. And that's what we're about to go in next. So in the next meditation, I'm going to guide you through the compassion ritual, which will take a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. And then we're going to go into phase 2, gratitude. The entire meditation will be under 5 or 6 minutes. Let's get started.